we do have a polygamist, a pretty well-known, I dare I say famous brother in the Hebrew community, and even he's done his thing in the so-called world. His name is Ash Yasharallah. He is a well-known polygynist. He's led churches. He is a musician. He is an extraordinary rapper. Talia knows him very well. Letitia's about to be acquainted with the brother. We're gonna bring him on and we're gonna sit down. We're gonna talk about that poly, y'all. See, the spirit was on me. I told you guys. So we are going. The topic of transitioning is absolutely interesting, fascinating, and important. So, but we're gonna flip it. We're gonna talk to the brother, and then we're gonna get back to our talk about transitioning. So let's bring him on. Here he is, Ash Yasharallah. Welcome to Sister Sit Down. Let's give the brother a round of applause. You don't have to clap, Ash. We're clapping for you.
How y'all ladies doing?
We're great. Thank you for joining. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you made it. I know you're busy.
Nah, it's all good. Yeah, you know, it's all good, man. I'm here for the people.
I know I kind of messed up the time for him, y'all, because I was like, I thought that he was in a different time zone. I told him a different time. But anyway, let's get into this. So, brother, you're a polygynist.
Yes.
Before we talk about your poly and your love life and your business life, because marriage is business, let's just hear a little bit about you. Tell the family about you, just basically, just so I can give you a lane, because I know you do everything. Talk to the family about your journey spiritually and also connected with what you were doing in the world. So can you do that for us? Just give us some background on you.
Yeah, no problem. You know, most people know me, you know what I'm saying, in my community outside of Israel, just in, you know, in the quote unquote, the world, as Bees P, my last name Bees, everybody call me Bees. And that was my entertainment name, and the name I still use. And most people know me from late 90s, early 2000s. I was running around with Eric Sermon and PMD, and then I signed a record deal in the early 2000s with Universal Records in my city. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, so you know I probably signed the biggest deal that an artist would get. You know what I mean? And did that. Did songs with, you know, some numerous, you know, what we would call legendary rappers: Fat Joe, Fabulous, Akon, Ice-T, Snoop Dogg, and the list goes on. And then I also wrote on 2 movies. The Longest Yard with Nelly Adams Saller and Chris Rock. It was a prison football comedy movie. I wrote a score on that and a score on a movie called Hollywood Homicide with Harrison Ford and Josh Hartnett. Later on, coming out of that, I then, you know, in my travels, born and raised up in Christianity. During that time, I started realizing that, you know, because I was always reading the Bible, that a lot of things that I was reading in the Bible and what was being taught in the church, it didn't coincide. It didn't correlate. The things that the doctrine of Christianity, it wasn't lining up with what I was reading in the Bible. And then, of course, just like everybody else, thinking that I was from African descent, or I was an African, you know what I mean, by way of transatlantic slave trade being brought over here. Once I started reading the Bible, I started seeing that the God of the Bible, especially in the Old Covenant, didn't like or wasn't really in favor of African people. He, you know, he was, and at the same time he wasn't. You know what I mean? It was all about these chosen people called Israel, or what was some called today as Jews. During this time, I'm thinking that was, you know, the Jews that you see walking around, you know what I mean, these European Jews. So because I'm thinking that we Africans, so I put the book down. I couldn't continue to subscribe to the book at that time because I just didn't understand why, you know, the God would be hating a people that I looked at, and most people look at as the founders of the earth, which, you know, which I looked at as us. So then I went off into, I met Minister Farrakhan by way of a brother Richard Muhammad, who ran who ran the mosque back in Cleveland. And you know, me and him, it's people that been in the Nation of Islam all their life and never got an opportunity to sit down with Minister Farrakhan. Wood. Because I was in the music industry, of course, they gave me a favorable, you know, favorable type of treatment. And so, you know, I was running around with the minister and things of that nature. Didn't join the Nation of Islam, you know, just because of some of the prerequisites. You know, but I'm not gonna go into that. You know what I mean? Their requirements. I just wasn't feeling it. And then it was during that time I just kept reading. I was buying books and you know, I had a library in my house. You know what I mean? Just reading and reading and reading. And then I started going back into you know Africa and Egypt and Ghana and you know places like that. You know what I mean? The Sudan and just the people of it. You know what I'm saying? The Hutus, the Twas, things of that nature. And I got off into that and I started teaching chematology for almost 5 to 6 years. And then in 2013 is when I went to an event where the Hebrew Israelites was facing.
What event was that, brother? You got to be specific.
It was a event that Sarnetta was holding with ISUPK and a brother from ISUPK, Tazariak, was facing Brother Polite, and it was in that
right.
It was in that meeting or that debate is where, even though I had read Deuteronomy 28 1,000 times, not literally, but a lot of times, it was during that moment that it was broken down to me in a way that I had never seen explained before. And at that moment, I was convicted. And so I just started moving forward, understanding that my nationality is an Israelite and, you know, from the tribe of Judah, you know, if one subscribes to the 12 charts, things of that nature. My point of view now of it all is a bit different than what it was when I entered into it and what I've been teaching all these last 5, 6 years, you know. However, I still understand and stand on that, you know, we are Israelites. And, you know, so that was my journey. So I transitioned over from many walks. I studied Buddhism, Hinduism. I studied a lot of walks. So, you know, that was the spiritual. And then at the same time, I was still dealing with the music industry. And in 2014, I put the music industry down and became an entrepreneur. Well, I've always been an entrepreneur, but more so focused on my family.
Uh-oh, I think you froze. Did you freeze? When you say family, let's stop right there. And I want you to talk to us because we're here. I forgot to tell the sisters on the panel and also the family, the audience, I plan on, Most High willing, the Almighty willing, bringing his 2 amazingly beautiful wives, or at least one of them. I hope to get both of them on to sit down with us sisters, with you, Letitia, Talia, and with me, and talk to us about their journey. So I think it's really it works well for us to first talk to their king, their husband, and hear what he has to say. And then next weekend, hopefully, Ash, we can bring the sisters on. But anyway, I want to ask you about your family, brother. So
yeah, Talia, she's been to my house before, so she's.
I know Talia's gonna jump in. She's gonna definitely jump in. I know. Actually, I met Talia because of Ash. That's the backstory. Yeah. Because I met Talia through you, Ash. But let me ask you, Ash. Talk to us about how it started out. You were monogamous, because we got to just jump right in because we don't got a lot of time. We just got 2 hours. So come on, we got to get with this. Well, and I know the sister. So tell the people about your journey, your polygyny journey. Did you start out doing poly?
I met Anaya, my wife that I've been with the longest, in 2001. So she's been with me my whole journey. You know, I've been with her since 2001. We still together. And
shout out to Anaya.
Right. And so, but during that time, you know, we were younger when we got married, and you know, and I just told her then at that moment, like, you know, I'm young, you know what I mean? Like you want to live forever. And you mean you want to live to at least see you in your 80s or whatever. So I was
Did
upfront and
you know
honest
you
with
were
her.
poly? I gotta jump in, brother. Did you know you were poly when you met her? Did you realize, wow, I'm poly?
Well, not necessarily poly. I wasn't into that understanding of it. I just knew that me telling a woman in my late 20s, early 30s that I'm never going to talk to another woman again for the rest of my life, assuming that we live to be in our 80s, that just wasn't that wasn't reality for me. Like all I can do is tell her that I promise I'm gonna do my best. You know what I mean? Which in turn, truthfully, that's all a woman can say as well. You know what I mean? Like it goes both ways. So with that understanding, we ventured off into a relationship, and you know, we walked it through. You know, every time that I felt like I had the urge to want to go and explore or talk to another woman, I sat her down and talked to her about it. You know what I mean? We talked through it. And, you know, for that, she respected me that much more because, you know, I gave her an opportunity to say whether or not, you know, well, is this something I want to continue in? So maybe around 2010 is when I first brought the idea of me being with another woman to her. And during that time, you know, we had a great relationship. She didn't understand it. And of course, her emotions wouldn't allow her to do it. And her you know, being raised in this country as, you know, all women are raised with a one-on-one mindset, you know, and, you know, that's understandable because that's what's been implanted in our people, but it's just not the truth to who we are per se. And every man understands what I'm talking about. There are exceptions to every rule. So when I speak, you know that there are exceptions. You know what I mean?
No, wait, snapshot, brother. This is how it's gonna go. Osh, forgive me if I'm jumping in like double dutch, brother. Jumping in like double dutch. So you said every man, and I know Letitia and Talia's, especially Letitia, that you hit it. Every man, what did you say about every man?
I
know you said it.
I can stand around 100 men that's married because I done did it before. And we're gonna talk like men. They're not gonna go home and tell their women what we sit up and talk about in the barbershop. They're not gonna tell their wives what I know to be, you know, would be the fact of me talking to them and things of that nature. But that's their business. But I just know I try to tell men, listen, because a man is not going to want to go home. He knows that if he tells his wife something like that, exceptions to every rule, but every woman thinks their husband is the exception. You see what I'm saying? But he knows that if he goes home and tell his wife that 9 times out of 10, she's gonna leave. So there goes the house or the place together. There goes him being able to wake up to his children every day. There goes out the window any equity that they had together. It's gone now. So what you know the old saying, what she don't know don't hurt. And he'll keep it to himself and probably have a woman across town somewhere or in another state, and she'll never know. That just wasn't me. I'm a grown man, so I wasn't going to allow the restrictions mentally of a woman to make me become a liar.
Facts.
You know what I mean? So if that meant that I was going to lose everything, lose my wife, lose waking up every day to my daughter, I would rather start from ground zero than to lay down on a lie. You know what I mean? And lay down on a lie. You know, a lot of men can just be was with a woman and then come in the house and lay down next to their wife like, you know, like it's nothing. I can't do that.
I gotta respect that. I don't mean to cut you off, brother. You are on fire right now. We need to hear from men. We need to hear from more polygynists, more men who are telling the truth. Osh, I'm not really trying to stop your flow, but you said it was about not wanting to be a liar.
Right.
Right. Can you talk more about that?
Well, like I said, you know, here's the analogy I give. You take a 13-year-old, I always give this analogy. You take a 13-year-old boy, you take a 13-year-old girl. And when the time that I was raised up, now let's just say if this 13-year-old boy and this 13-year-old girl got suitable parents and adults around them with morals and principles and things of that nature. So the 13-year-old boy is taught by society and even the men in his family, promiscuity. Man, you better go out there and get you some, this, that, and the third. The young girl is taught preservation. Don't you go out there and be sleeping with a bunch of boys. You're going to be labeled as a whore and this, that, and the third. So she's taught preservation. The boy, it may start having sex at 14. Let's just say if he starts early and then he meets his high school sweetheart. Now they high school sweethearts, he ends up, breaking her virginity. That's a lot of times. That's the way it goes. Okay. But by the time that they get 18 years old, he already has 3 to 4 years of learned behavior. Mm-hmm. And sometimes she do too, but we're talking about the girls who kind of waited, right? So he has a 3 to 4 year behavior pattern, and she's in love with him or what she thinks is love. He thinks that he's in love with her or what he thinks is love. But of course, he isn't monogamous. So then that relationship, that's her first heartbreak. That's most girls' first heartbreak is high school. Then they go into college. You meet your college sweetheart. And then you find out now your college sweetheart, he's 21, 22. He got 6 to 7 years learned behavior now. He's been active since 14 years old. She may have made 1 or 2 relationships, you know what I mean? But she's still on the preservation tip. Now let's go all the way to 30 and serious. Now they both getting ready. They want to get married, and they're both standing before each other in the aisle. You know what I mean? At the altar. He's 30. She's 30. He has 15 to 16 years of learned behavior on him that he's supposed to relinquish that day and never sleep with it. And she has had her relationships and things of that nature, but her mindset has been programmed and trained to preserve herself. So she meets this man, he really loves her of what he know to be love, but you asking a man to basically stop in that moment of never dealing with another woman again when that's all he's been doing the last 15, 16 years of his life. And that's just not a realistic thing to think of. So therefore, now you say not being a liar, he has a choice to make, that was me standing there. And I had a choice to make. Either I was going to be honest with that woman and let her know that, listen, I can't promise you I'm never going to be with another woman again. And we're young as we are, and we want to live to see 80 years old or better. So let's just, all I can do is tell you I'm going to try my best. And we went down the aisle. So again, these are things that are not brought to the forefront and discussed. Women don't give, not all women, but remember it's exceptions. Women don't give men the platform to be honest.
Say that again. Say that again. Yes.
I'm gonna say that again.
This sounds like a recap of last weekend, doesn't it?
Yes. I'm gonna say that again.
Exactly.
Women don't give men the platform to be honest because he knows if he be honest, that's the end of everything that he has.
I gotta get my bomb dropping, right, Letitia?
Boom.
So, me personally, I took that risk, and in 2014 is when I stepped to my wife and told her, this is what I'm going to do. You know what I mean? Now, meantime, mind you, I've been in the truth now. I have my own congregation. I'm teaching. I'm going through the Bible. You know what I mean? So she's on the classes and this, that, and the third. And by the time I met my wife, my new wife that is now currently with us, Anaya, who I had been with since 2001, my wife I've been with that long, she had within herself. That's where you would have to speak to her. She said she had her own revelation about it, and she was ready to open the door because also she had to realize that, okay, well, if you ain't gonna do this now, you gotta go out there and find another man, or not find another man, but you have to meet another man. He's gonna have to learn all about you. He's gonna have to accept all your flaws. He's going to have to.
Stop, brother. Stop. See, you're talking about those were if she left.
Right.
You were telling, but real quick, we got to go back to when you said you were in the teachings, because it's very important to point out, because we're trying to encourage people to research poly, understand poly more, and not just poly, even just matrimony in general. When you said, Ash, you said you were in the truth, you got a foundation, which really was rooted in poly, right? Because I know you came into AOI and that was a poly foundation. So Anaya, along with you, got to learn about poly, even though y'all were monogamous. She started seeing the poly life, correct?
Right, right. That was it. And you know, now she's reading the word, and the word is permeating her spirit and things of that nature. And you know, a lot of scriptures in the Bible, Ecclesiastes 26:6, Ecclesiastes 34:26, things of that nature. Just a lot of me going into Proverbs 31 and that woman, you know, and all the things that woman did and what she supplied for her household. But she didn't do it for just any old man. The man that she did it for was a man that was known within the gates. So you don't do these types of things for just any man. You know what I mean? He has to be a man that is, you know, what I would tell a woman, you know what I mean? Because I have a daughter, you know what I mean? And I have a lot of respect for women in general. So, you know, I know a lot of these brothers, you know, just be out here winging it and you know, just doing whatever because they know that polygyny is accepted within the community and within the Bible. And a lot of these cats, man, they was you know, just keeping it a buck. They was some cats in the world that was corny, that didn't get no girls, and then they come into the walk and then they want to get all the girls and want to use the scriptures of polygyny to acquire it. You know what I mean? And you know, to me, that's some lame, them lames to me, but you know, neither here nor there. You know what I mean? That's why when I speak, I have to speak from both sides because, you know, a lot of women have been abused within it. They sincerely came in, you know, even though it cut their souls to want to accept it, the niggas made it hard for them to accept it because, you know, they wasn't right. You know what I mean? And the way that they went about it and the way that they go about it, it's, you know, it's kind of barbaric, you know what I mean, to a degree. So that I know that for me, once I spoke to her about it and she opened her door up, then it was a feast day in 2016 where I met my younger wife and my wife that I'm with now, younger in the years of us being together. And, you know, I told my wife, you know, Anna, y'all will listen, if you're going to sit down and we can talk like adults without any, you know, if I feel like you're going to cause an uproar in the house, I'm not saying nothing to you. You know what I mean? But when you want to sit down and have a, you know, a real conversation, hey, we can lay it all out on the table. And so that's what she finally wanted to do. Then I introduced her to Shiar. We went out, I sat them down at a restaurant and they thought I was going to stay there, but I didn't. I sat them down in front of each other when my daughter was there. She like my go-to. She was 14 at the time. I sat her down and sat them down and I left. And I left and let them.
Why did you leave?
Because I wanted them to be able to, you know, me being there could have been a distraction. So it wasn't no, you know, listen, I ain't got nothing to hide. So listen, y'all sit down, get it all out, whatever it is that y'all want to say. So I went around the corner to a bar, sat down and had me a glass of wine. And, you know, I'm looking at the watch, 20 minutes go by, 30, 40, an hour go by. I'm like, okay, whoa, let me go back over here. So I go back over there. As I'm coming back over there, as I'm pulling up, they kind of like walking out, you know, and they smiling and you know, sharing a laugh or whatever. And me and my wife and my daughter, we was living in New Jersey. Shiar was living in Cleveland. I'm originally from Cleveland. So in my mind, it was, okay, now when I take my suitcase out of the car and put it in the car with this other woman and I drive off with her, that's going to be the telltale to see, you know, if she really, my wife I've been with the longest, if she really was. And that's what I did. And the next morning when I called her, she was in good spirits. And, you know, I didn't immediately throw them in the house. We dated and courted each other as a family for 4 years. And then,
wow.
And then we just recently moved to Atlanta a year ago. And now we're all in the same domains. But it had to be a place where, you know, let me show y'all a little bit, because as my understanding, people think, you know, brothers is your women got it. They got sackcloth all over their heads, and you know everything is dismal, and the women are they if they're in it they're bitter, and their spirit has been downtrodden because
No, they
they
should
really
be
don't
really
want to be
happy,
there.
actually.
But
We can't hear you, brother.
hold on a second. Let me see.
There you go.
I'm trying to see how I could turn the mic around.
It probably doesn't let you
see.
turn your camera around down here.
How you turn the camera? Let me see.
StreamYard probably doesn't let you. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, y'all can see me? Okay, so let me just take y'all a tour of my house real quick. We're in Atlanta.
Nice.
Of course, you see the family portrait.
Oh,
right? Hold on a minute.
I love it.
So they don't think Israelites
I'm jealous
gotta be
already.
living like bums or whatever.
Facts.
And I'm thankful at the same time.
See, this is the type of film that working together can
We in a community
Exactly.
down in Atlanta, like $1 million community.
Nice.
This is my house. Hold on a minute.
Don't let them see the address on this live stream. Nice.
You know what I mean?
Looking good, brother.
And I'm doing this just because, so people don't, so they can see
So-
that, it's about economics. It's about financial
Facts.
freedom.
So does everybody work?
When you bring 3 incomes together.
Okay, there we go. That's a yes. Oh, wow.
We got land.
Nice. Oh, wow. Nice backyard. Big backyard.
Yeah, so let me see.
It's a nice house. So, okay, how does it go as far as sleeping arrangements?
Yeah, could y'all hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Let me make sure y'all can hear me. Hold on a minute.
Okay.
Can y'all hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Let's see. Hold on a minute. They can hear me? I can't hear nothing on them, though.
Uh-oh.
no.
Oh, man, it was getting good. He'll be back. Hey, Dewana.
Hi, my green screen acting up tonight.
Oh, no worries. Oh, it was getting good. That was a really nice
It
house.
was. A story actually sounds kind of similar to my own because I know when my husband and I were first entertaining the topic of polygyny, our conversation sounded very similar to what he's describing. My worries about this and getting to know her and just getting to the point where, I think that, you have to seeing his house and seeing what he accomplished, that's like relationship goals. Now that is relationship goals. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Not the stuff that people talk about today, that wealth and prosperity that you need more than one person to help you build.
Facts.
Yes.
And it's a nice neighborhood and it's a very nice house. Do you know if he has children?
Yes, he's got older children, and then he has one younger son at home, and the daughter of which he spoke. I think she's 19 now, if I'm not mistaken. 19 or 20.
I think he has 3 boys and 1 girl.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the baby. I know the baby because they're the baby's the same age as my baby.
Oh, nice. Wow.
And I know the baby because out of all the people that was in his house that day, I was the only one that he let hold the
Okay, period.
No, he played with my daughter, but he didn't have nothing to do with me. He's so cute though.
Oh, he said he's in the chat. Nepal's gonna have to let you back in when she comes back in. Okay, I'm gonna be right. Yeah, I'll be right back. One moment.
Oh, everybody left me. So how you doing, sis? And they all left me.
I'm calling Nepal.
How you doing? Y'all, first off, StreamYard, they can't stop this, okay? They're trying, but thank you for holding it down. I was watching from my phone. I see his wife in the chat, one of his wives. There's
Yeah,
a
right.
Shayar.
So
Hello?
I didn't do that to like show off. I did it because you would hear people talking about the economic aspect of it, or you know, nation building and things of that nature. And you know, we really on that. We own our own business. My wife Shiar, she has a magazine company, Pacemakers, that you know she's on her 4th issue, and it's doing very well. Outside of that, we have a vegan restaurant that we're just getting started down here in Atlanta. And you know, the vegan industry is the food truck industry is a $856 billion industry. And
How are you not gonna say the name of the amazing
Yeah.
vegan company?
oh, it's called
Hi, Shawnee.
it's called Unbelieve Again. Unbelieve Again. You can follow me on Instagram, UNBELIE vegan. Unbelieve Again. Can't believe it's vegan.
And your wife,
That's
and your
good.
wife Anaya is the chef.
Right. Anaya the chef, and what they both of them actually are. Anaya is definitely the head chef. She does the
Oh,
cooking.
I didn't know Shayar was also.
Well, she has been,
Just like that.
you know, she's been watching, and you know, she definitely, you know, learned quick, and you know, she cooks her own special, you know, dishes as well. And we did an event.
Yes. Good
We did
job. Go Queen.
Yeah, we did an event probably about almost a month and a half ago. We got one next weekend, a weekend after next, and then May 1st, and then we're out there. We just out there. We bought a brand new food truck, true food trailer, a brand new. We got 2. If I didn't crack my garage, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. I could do that. I could do the whole.
I know. You're very brother. Let me ask you a question. I love that you're showing the business side, because poly isn't just about the love relationship. And I want people to know that we speak on that. We speak on that, but I'm here on with these discussions. Am I choppy, y'all?
Yes, you
My
are.
connection.
If you got any questions, just ask me any questions that you want to ask.
I'm gonna do that right now. I just want to make sure my connection's stable. Ash, this is the thing, brother, and you know what I'm about to say. Well, you know what I'm gonna say when I say it. Everybody, brothers in who are poly, they all have to go out there and stand on their heads and hop on one leg, pull their ear down to convince people, it's not just about sex. It's not just about sex. It's about business and building. But really, you know what? Before which I love that you showed your success, because 3 amazing minds, creative minds together, you're building an empire. That's the financial plus for poly. But let's talk about you, just the man. You're right. I want to change the climate where men are always on the defense and always defending themselves, like, it's not that I want to have sex with, I'm really tired of that. I'm tired of people attacking brothers because men are wired biologically to desire other women.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to say that's the only thing that men are about, but really, I know poly is about money and finance and building an empire, but at its core, for brothers who aren't successful like you, Ash, what about the brothers who aren't building like you? But don't you think that they still, because of their biological makeup, because of their right as males, don't you think they also should be able to embrace the lifestyle of poly if they choose to do so, and if their wives choose to work with them and do so. Like what I'm trying to say is,
Absolutely.
if his wife was working, okay, go ahead, talk on that,
absolutely.
brother. Talk on that.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Like it's not. I'm just showing what the Most High has blessed me with. Like, but you know, you're right.
And I love that. Yes.
At the end of the day, the like you said, the core, just the nature of a man. Like I don't know, you know, why that's so. I do know why, but it shouldn't be at this point, because the nature, you know, it's there. It's proven itself. Rather, the man is doing it to get a lot of money. Now there are some brothers that's doing it, you know, because of you know, reasons of, you know, just I think if you're gonna do it, you definitely have to be tactful about doing it. I think, you know what I mean. If you're gonna do it, you definitely need to be, you know, you have to be different. You can't be the way that you know, you just running through women. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, and even if that is what you're doing, you know, at least be honest with the women that you're talking to up front. You know what I mean? That's all I can say to that. I don't push for no man to do that, like far as just out here, you know, because running through women, because you're supposed to be righteous at the same time. So
Facts.
you know, however, I stand on that. A man, if it's a choice. A man can choose to be with one woman, but this country has implanted in women's mind that that's the way, that's the only option, and that's what has destroyed the divorce rate here. You got over 330 some odd million Americans, and you got like what, 40 to something million so-called African Americans. You know what I'm saying? With 52% of the African American population being made up as women. So you have a disproportionate amount of women to men, and then for the women that are in the walk, you know, what are these women supposed to do that don't have a man? If the Most High blessed you and brought this man into your life, and he came into your life and gave you a family, you know, took on your children, you know, helped build you up as a woman. This other woman over here is the Most High's daughter as well. Why? What makes you more special to the Most High in understanding that there's a shortage of brothers? You know what I mean? That he won't send that same man to this woman over here. What?
Facts.
Why would a woman? And then you're supposed to have the love. You're supposed to have the love of Christ in you, the love of Yahweh Shai, Yeshua, whatever name you want to call him, Jesus, whatever. You're supposed to have that love for you in a man for his neighbor, and a woman for her neighbor. So if you're to love a person as you love yourself, you should want the same things for that other woman as you have for yourself, in understanding 1 Corinthians, the 11th chapter, that the Most High is the head of Christ, Christ the head of man, man is the head of woman. The man was made for the woman was made for the man. Well, both of them, but and essentially the woman was made for the man. She's the man, help me. So with that being understood, that man is to be in submission to Christ, and that woman is to be in total submission to the man. It tells you in Ephesians, the 5th chapter, around I think the 24th or 4th verse, 23rd, that the woman is supposed to be in subjection to her husband as the church is to Christ in everything. Everything embodies all. So it doesn't matter what your feelings are and your emotions are. What matters is the decisions that man makes and the vision that he has that is given to him to lead his household. And I do tell women, you know, I do tell men, listen, the Most High didn't create that woman to be a helpmeet for nothing. I want men to understand that if you got a good woman on your side, good women on your side, that woman gonna take you further than what you gonna take yourself. You can believe that. You know what I mean? If you got the right woman or women with you, they gonna take you further than what you can take yourself, brother. Like, you can't do it all by yourself. So, you know, I understand that. I understand the gifts and the power of a woman, and I'm not intimidated by that. And I know when, you know, at certain points to sit back and let a woman do what she do. I'm just a real leader and a strong character and personality. However, I do know the gifts of a woman and what it is that she can do that I don't do. I know what I know, and what I know it. You know what I mean? I stand on that. But what I don't know, I don't have no problem with, I don't know it. You know what I mean? It's just keeping the buck. They say a man can be a builder. You know what I mean? I suck at building. You know what I mean? I'm not no, you know what I mean? Both of them put me to shame building. If something come in here and they got put together, I'm paying somebody to do it, or they know how to do it. I'm gonna say I can't do it.
That
I
sounds
just don't know.
familiar.
You know what I mean? They're very good at hands-on and working with things and things like that. And it's a privilege. You know what I mean? It's a joy and it's a privilege, at the same time. Listen, I sit back. This is the first year that we've all been in the house together. And I can honestly say, it has been no bump in the road as far as them two go. Like, they've never had no argument, no blown out argument. I've never seen no cutting of the eyes, well, not even just in this year. I've never seen it. You know what I mean? I've never had to discuss it behind closed doors. So, it's the man. You know what I mean? It all really boils down to that man. And if he handling his business the correct way, then he should not have no problem with it. Keep people out of your business. You know what I mean? As far as the Hebrew Israelite community and stuff, I excommunicated myself and my family. I ain't in that. You know what I mean? I ain't in that. I don't want to be in it. You know what I mean? I got love for a lot of brothers and sisters that, that was in the whole camp congregation thing. I still got love for a lot of brothers and a lot of sisters. However, I don't think the same way as some of the teachers, I don't stand on them like that too much anymore, because I just know that I know the history. The Most High blessed me and allowed me to sit amongst elders and sit amongst, the people that are really running the community. And I've seen behind the curtains, a lot of things. And me personally, if something ain't going right, or if I don't like what it is, I get away from it. You know what I mean? My family, we still keep to the understanding that we Israelites and we move like that. But far as polygyny go, this is the way we live in. We're gonna live like that. If they know that if I decide to go out and get another wife, you know what I mean? That's just what I decide to do. I'm just not one to go biting off more than I can chew. Look, I'm gonna tell you. Listen, cats may think that. Listen, it is a lot trying to please two women, man. You know what I'm saying? Let alone 3, 4, 5. You better be on your game all the way around the board. You know what I mean? To be able to deal, I'm the one that's getting, pulled. I have to, it's only 7 days in a week. I got to give days over here, days over there, then days back over here, then days back over there. And it's like I'm a ping pong just getting.
So do you guys never do just all like a day where all of you are together?
Oh yeah, we do. We have family night. We play games. We eat together. We cook together. We definitely are together. I'm just saying the common denominator is me. So I'm the one that's got that's getting pulled from. So it's work. And so for any man that do it, you have to give attention. And the woman that you was with prior, or the one that you was with first. I don't like using first or second. I don't use those words, but just for the sake of the conversation, the woman that you was with first, she has to. You better have put in a good foundation with her first. You know what I mean? You really have to lock into her first, so she feels comfortable with your relationship. If you want it to work, now you can just be like, well, whatever. If you don't like it, so be it. That's just not a good thing to do. Now, if she is having a hard time with it and she's just being stubborn and just refusing to do it, then that man is really going to have to take into consideration what he's going to do with her, because that's just not what a woman is supposed to be doing. So, but in understanding that our women were raised that way, you can't just, or you shouldn't just throw that in her face like that. You know what I mean? You have to give, what I mean? Listen, man, everything is just,
period.
Yeah. Everything got to be done in decency and order. You gotta, you have to be patient, and that's what I did. I understood that, you know what I mean? I took 6 years before I came back around and brought it back to my wife I was with first. I didn't jump back on it like that. I took 6 years before I even brought the idea back up again. And by that time, we were even more molded together, and she was able to accept, Shiar, and You know, if you know the way we got it, if I decide to go out with somebody, no, I don't have to tell them, you know, at my every move, just stand the third. If I get to a point to where as though I know that it's going to be serious, then I'll, you know, bring in to the forefront, just like I did the first time. But I'm not out here like that anyway, though. You know what I mean?
Like
I'm not.
you said earlier about women, you know, a lot of times women, they will put their man in the position to lie. And that is something that, you know, I personally have recently come to and learning and dealing with my husband and the topic of polygyny is, you know, sometimes there's questions you probably don't even want to know the answer to. So you shouldn't put him in that position to have to lie to you. You know what I'm saying? His business is his business. And if you don't want to be lied to, then don't ask.
Well, if that's, I look at that as well, you're right. You're definitely right with that, and I look at that also as pre-polygyny, meaning you shouldn't do. Meaning this. Once you both accept polygyny, then you have that woman has broken the mold of the mindset of monogamy. So she should be understanding that this is the life now. This is the lifestyle. This is what we're about. So he's going to be meeting women and this, that, and the third. And I'm telling you, like, for a woman that does that, for any man that got any kind of common sense, you know, he should respect that to the utmost, that the Most High blessed him to have that. So going forward, bro, you should just be 100 about everything that you do, because that's you like that, you out of the norm. You know what I mean? You in that little one, you in that small percent now. So that woman should really be at ease in life. You know what I mean? Because it's a lot of women that's married to their husband and they're supposedly monogamous, but they on the edge all the time because they know their man is out doing something. They can feel it in their spirit. You just was out here laying with this woman. You think that you come home and you lay with your woman. You think she's not gonna feel that? Like, you think she's not gonna understand that? I understand the makeup of a woman. So she may not be able to pinpoint exactly what it is that you're doing, but she knows that there's something else going on because she can feel it. And then when you keep lying, you're diminishing her power to a degree to be what she's supposed to be for you, because you're killing
powerful.
Yeah, you're killing the trust. You're killing the level of trust. And so when you're killing the level of trust, you bring it down her will to want to be the best that she can be for you. And then from that moment on, it's downhill from there. It's just all downhill. So
I felt that so much.
So in that 6-year period where you said you waited 6 years until you brought it back up to her again, were you still seeing the other woman at that time? No.
The first time I brought it up with it, I brought her up to a woman that I'm not with now. I just met this woman. This woman was from Nigeria, and I really did have a lot of feelings for her, and I brought her to it, but I had not, you know what I'm saying? I brought her to the table, and when she didn't accept it, we literally got divorced. Like, we were legally married. We got legally divorced because
you initiated it.
Huh?
You initiated it?
Yeah. I brought her to the table, and then she appreciated my wife, Anna. She appreciated it, but she wasn't with it, and I wasn't gonna compromise who I was, so we got divorced. But we really shouldn't, because we stayed. We got divorced, but we still was with each other all the time. It didn't make any sense, you know what I mean? And then we ended up moving back in the house. She never dealt with another man, you know what I mean? And if somebody were to ever put if my life had to be taken, you know, you never say never to something, but I would ride on the fact that she ain't never got with no other man since she's been with me. I really truly believe that. And even Shiara, we've been together 5 years. You know, that's the case, because I don't put no restraints on them. Like, if you don't want to be in this, don't be in it. If you don't want to be with me, I understand. You don't have to be with me. And, you know, we don't have to keep each other miserable for the sake of.
You're such an alpha. That is such alpha energy. It's amazing.
Yeah, so I appreciate that. So, you know, that's what I can say to it, you know, is
It's echoing, Grandpa, really bad.
Echoes.
there you go.
Ash,
Dewana,
let me ask you a question, Ash.
Dewana,
Hi.
hello.
So look, what would you say about the brother who wants another wife, but he's so scared about what the first wife is going to say?
Talk.
Hey, that's a lot of men. You know how many men I know that's like that call me, talk to me, you know, because far as Israel go, I know, and most people they know that they look at me and my family as the people that they can recognize with. I don't even know of no other brothers that are in polygynous marriages that I know why their wives are recognizable. And I don't know. So I'm not saying that they're not, I just don't. So it's a lot of men that hit me up and that are facing that right now, that they don't know how to take it to their wife. And, you know, all I can do is tell them my story and tell the brother, like, listen, you're going to have to be willing to lose it all then, if that be the case, because it's either you're going to lose it all and stand up for what it is that you know to be true about yourself, or you can continue on and just be a liar and just be living a deceitful lifestyle to where as though you're not telling the truth. And if you're doing that, it's almost like you hustling backwards, because now you're becoming you living an unrighteous life because you're making yourself out to be a liar every day. So to any man that wants to come over in that realm, be a man, stand up, be honest with your wife, and be ready to accept the repercussions of what it is that she may do as far as leaving. But I'm gonna tell you like this, you should feel 1,000 times better about yourself because you're honest with yourself. And nothing is worth more than being honest with yourself and your own integrity. No woman is worth that.
So what would you say to the sister who's not seeing any other brothers to decide?
Say that again.
What would you say? What advice would you give to the sister who's sitting here waiting for that brother to find out if he's going to tell his wife about her or not?
Oh, okay. If he started
Before you answer that question, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
I'm having a very bad connection. Can you hear me okay, brother?
Yes, I can.
Can y'all hear me? Now, before you answer that question, which is excellent, let me clarify it and fine-tune it a little bit. Why would a brother even put a sister in a position, bring her in? Let me ask you, is it, and put her into a position where she's a so-called secret or in a holding space or limbo, or what even I will say some of the very negative people say a side piece? Why would a brother, I already know it's wrong, but I want a man to say it. Why would a brother have a sister who loves him, is fully poly, ready to bow down to the relationship of the marriage that's already set, meaning coming in knowing he has 2 wives? Why would a man put a sister in a position where he tells her, don't say this, don't do this, when you see these people, don't say I'm this to you? What kind of man does that? And I'm not trying to beat up on brothers, but I want you to show what I'm getting at, right, Ash? Like, yeah. Before we even talk about the women, the wives in the relationship, let's put the onus on the brother. Why?
Did you get the gist of her question? Pretty much, she froze.
Yeah, she was asking me, I guess, why would a brother keep the other woman a secret? Pretty much.
Yeah, like what grounds would cause something like that? I think is what
So here's 2 ways to look at that, right? Okay, just like I said that, and we all, I'm sure you sisters will agree that women are raised. When I spoke about women being raised in a state of monogamy mindset, one-on-one, right? And then whereas though I spoke about having to be understanding and patient with her coming into the polygynous mindset, right? Well, it's the same then for now, and then Nepal speaking about and being 100% correct about the nature of a man. So let's just say now I'm not saying, I'm giving you two ways of looking at it, two versions of how it could be. You can have the one brother that is, his intent is genuine and his wife is having a hard time, gathering it. However, she knows that it's true, but he's being patient with her. But during that time, natural communication between him and another woman take place, and he starts liking her, and they start liking each other, and so he starts building with her, and his intent is to bring her into the relationship, and he's explaining to her what is taking place. Now, he should have explained, a side note, he should have explained to this new woman that he was talking to what's going on in this household, that his wife is, but let's just say if he didn't. Let's just say if he didn't, but she do know that he has another wife, and he just tells her this ain't the right time for me to do it. She, as a grown woman, can make her decision if she wants to trust that and continue forward with him. Even at the end of the day, everybody gonna be held accountable for what they do. I'm not one of the people that tell a woman or anybody to stay somewhere where your life is miserable. I just don't believe that. You know what I mean? I don't believe in that. I don't stand on that. You know what I mean? Not miserable because you just want to totally reject the truth of the word. I'm talking about if you're dealing in a relationship where, because it ain't just about the woman being subservient and in subjection to the man. That man also has to give that woman due benevolence. That man also has to love her as Christ loved the church. That Christ died for the body of Israel. He died for the body of Christ. So you got to have that same type of love for that woman and respect. So anyway, if he's dealing with the woman, the first scenario, and his intent is genuine and sincere, and he's telling her, let me handle this. Just keep it cool till till this thing comes into the play the way I want to. She should trust that and allow him to do that. If it's the other scenario where the brother is just, his intention is to never tell his wife at home or his wives at home about this woman, and he's keeping her in this as a secret, then all things that done in the dark gonna come to light. You already know that, and it's gonna explode in his face anyway. It's gonna end up coming out because either her spirit is not gonna be able to take it, and she gonna let it be known who she is. you know how y'all sisters be sometimes, or he gonna mess up some kind of way, and it's gonna come to the front anyway. So that would be my answer to that. If looking at both ways, because just because a man don't tell his wife at first or whatever the case may be, that doesn't mean that he's trying to keep her a secret. He's trying to, because remember this is new for us too. We wasn't in a polygynous society. Didn't nobody give me a blueprint or an instruction guide on how to manage a household with multiple women. I don't know. Nobody taught me that in my lifestyle. I'm the only one in my entire family that does this, and I never was given an instruction guide on how to do it. So patience is the key to everything in every situation. You have to exude patience, man, and that's all I can say. So to answer your question, Nepal, I said, if you didn't hear me,
I was listening. I want to ask you. I heard that was a beautiful answer because in reality, this isn't. You are so. Thank you so much for being here, Ash. You are doing so well. Excellent for the sisters who are doing poly. excellent for the sisters who are interested in poly, excellent even for the sisters who are against poly, and for the brothers, the same thing. But I'm talking for my sisters. This is Sister Sifnam.
Right.
Osh, I'm sorry, I want to apologize to everybody about this connection. I'm in an Airbnb on a so-called vacation, and it's so anyway. So let me ask you, you said some things. Now, typically when I teach about poly and when I counsel about poly, I say, never, ever, ever, ever let a man keep you secret. That's general. That's just in general. But I do want to say this, in some instances with sincere brothers, what you spoke on, a man might need to get some things in order. And what sisters have to do is, when that happens, which is exceptional, that's not the rule. You have to say, no, I will not. And you have to come into a relationship and say, I will not be a secret, not just for yourself, not for pride, but for the wife who's already there, and for the brother who's actually perhaps trying to do poly in a dysfunctional way. And now, Asha, I'm still aligned with you. I know it might not sound like that, but what I'm going to say is this. There are exceptions where Ash mentioned where a brother might have to get some things in order. So sisters, if that happens, you have to definitely put time limits. You cannot say, all right, I'm going to show him how much I love him. Because when you do that, hey, we got to get points. By the way, if I sit back and I say, I'll let you keep me a secret because I trust you, a man has to see that goes a long way. That's a P31 all the way. So, Asha, I'm going to hand this back to you, brother. What about a sister that puts time limits? Do you agree, like, a sister shouldn't just sit back and be like, well, if you need 3 years to work this out with your wife, I'm gonna be here. And, talk on that.
I think that's a discernment type of thing. She has to. I don't know. It's according to each situation. Because what if you be like, hey, I'm only giving you 3 months. I'm only giving you 4 months or 5. But then you mess around and miss the man that you were supposed to be with. You know what I mean? Because of your own restrictions. So I don't know. Like, I'm not being honest. Like, I understand that mindset to say, well, I'm only going to give you a certain amount of time. And, then if that's what you do, then you have to also be okay with the idea, or if it becomes a fact that man really was for you. You know what I mean? He really was supposed to be with you. And you kicked it to the curb after a certain amount of time of you putting your timetable. You got to be willing to accept that reality as well. It's really it's up to the woman and her discernment. Right. Because some brothers will be like, well, I slept with you, so now you my wife, and you do what I tell you to do.
Right.
That's what some brothers. That's what some brothers. They stand on that. Yeah,
Ash. So what you just heard the brother say is exactly right. It's up to you as a sister. For me, and I'm talking to the sisters. Ash, I love you. You're my brother. You know that Atalia, Dewana, backstory to everybody out there, Letitia. These two, all three of us know Ash. Like, we know him. We know he's a dedicated father, dedicated husband, businessman. So anyone who's interested in poly, you need to take notes, women and men, and listen to the brother.